West London VR on CADEsport. It's the Cade Peak course. We're going to do a 1 lap preview so you can see what it's all about. A few little hills, nothing too steep, but most importantly, obstacles in this one. This is where the steering and cornering is going to count a little bit on Cade. Now, if you look at the top left hand corner, you can see there's quite a few squiggly bends there that we've got to be careful on the corners of, and there's one coming up almost immediately. Using the steering to go around these two guys. You can't ride through riders on the same lap as you. You can tell if they're not on the same lap or they're stopped because they'll be ghosted as they are in the first 10 seconds of a race, just so that everybody can get off the starting grid without getting hemmed in. Have to negotiate this one a bit carefully. Just block that rider there and get through the gap as we go around the bends. Now you can see with the speedometer, the red is the zone I must not go in to, otherwise I will crash on the corners. Green is how fast I'm going, white is the spare capacity. So quite neatly around that one. Now I've got to go into the centre here. If I hit the sides of the bridge there, I will crash, so just steering it around those. Now weighing up the next corner, which looks like it's going to the right, so go onto the inside of the bend, which is advantageous, and the needle just nudging into the red there, and a little bit of skid, but just managed to cope with that one. Bit of braking and slowing down and soft pedalling, keeping me upright on that one, so got away with that one. The next bend fairly sweeping, so around that one quite comfortably, 40 kph, and I'm not close to the red on these bends. There will be some tighter ones coming up very shortly though, so just make sure I don't get caught out by any of the barriers on the bridge here. Go through that in the centre using the steering on CADEsport. Around this sweeping bend again, nothing too demanding about that one. These ones a little bit, you've got to be a little bit more careful. Probably not taking the best line there, but nevertheless coping with it. Probably slowing down a little bit too much, but look, as you come out of these into this chicane, the red zone gets quite big, and I just about stay up there, keeping out of the red zone. So probably got that one just about right, apart from the racing line. Bit of unwieldy steering there, but now look at the bends. These could be a little bit sharper. Look at the reds coming all the way around, 35 kph, just nudging the red. You're getting it absolutely perfectly. Another tight bend, 33, staying up though. Done quite well so far on these bends. If it's too much white, you're obviously going on too slow. Now look, there's our first obstacle on the left there, and bang, the second one catches me out on the right. Not really coping with the steering too well there. I think what I've done is oversteered one way, and then when I steered back the other way, it didn't respond straight away because I'd oversteered previously. So caught out there, cost me a bit of time. Now I've got to accelerate, so you get a 3 or 4 second delay while you're off the bike, but also you're losing time because obviously you need to accelerate back up to speed. Now I have to be careful again, these come thick and fast. There's a second batch. Now this one's quite tricky and didn't quite. You've got to be very sharp with your steering on that one, and even if you do get through it, this sharp bend straight away afterwards can catch you out. So that's one of the worst places for crashing. Stay on this right hand side to get around that one, but need to move over to the left to get around the next one. Sweeping bend coming up, but a little bit too cocky there, coming off on the bend, going too fast, accelerating out of that straight. So sweeping as that was, completely misjudged. Round the next obstacle, got to weave through these two rocks, so round to the left there and then onto the right, back onto the left to get around this, but there's a sharp bend coming up, so it has to be very careful not to come off on that bend. Managed to get around it, it's quickly followed by another sharp bend, so speed restricted to around 30 kph. Round some more obstacles, need to go to the left or might just scrape through this one on the right, but again another fast bend, and you've got to get this one right. Just keeping the needle under the red zone there, 35 kph onto the straight, and it is cleaner on the way back to the finish from now. Now you can see from the top, there's, as I said, there are all these squiggly little lines, which is the course, but you can also see that the course is basically over a hill and down. One more sharp bend coming up here, so essentially the obstacles are up the hill, so you go up the hill to the obstacles and you come down again afterwards. So it's back onto the flat. We're nearly at the finish now, and we just go around this rider to pinch a place if we can. Sweeping bends, so quite comfortable there, but watch out for this bridge. You need to go through the middle, and A little bit of oversteering here, so I'm sort of weaving around because I didn't quite gauge it right. But now a straight run into the finish where you can accelerate quite a lot. So 1 lap out of 4, I think this is for the actual race. I look forward to seeing you in one of the races. See you soon.